Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by Bronx. This is Tarot Talk. These are Tarot Tings, and I'm your host, Boogie Down Bronx, and I'm here to take care of the Aquarius. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This reading can resonate for you if you have Aquarius as a Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, or South Node sign. Quick shout out to my Patreon. I am back with another early access banger. I'm gonna start saying that. I'm back with an early access banger. If you are watching this video, it was released early access on my Patreon. Been doing a lot of early access content, y'all. So get with it. Get on the Patreon. And I'm doing an extended reading for Capricorns. Y'all blew that reading out the water. Crazy. And it was early access on Patreon as well. So I appreciate all of you guys. I need an Aquarius hoodie. If you want a Zodiac hoodie, I don't own all of them, but you can find yours in the link in the description box down below. Sorry, y'all. Let me put some lotion real quick so I can shuffle my cards because I need some. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. It's cold. All right, Aquarius. And shout out to my Patreon as well. I'm doing a really huge free giveaway. So if you're on there, you have a chance to win prizes. I'm giving away like 20 something prizes or something crazy for Christmas. So thank you. That is my thank you for you supporting me. All right, let's jump into your reading. Let's see the blunt truth. What does Aquarius need to hear right now? Give us 2 cards for the blunt truth. What does Aquarius need to hear? Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, and South Node. Casper, the scared ass ghost. A different world came out. I'm going to clarify. Let's get one more. They don't care. Move on. Shadow work needed. Can we clarify Casper real quick before we move on? Feelings do not equal facts. I don't know if you're Casper or somebody else's Casper. You have upward and onward. All right. So a situation where somebody may have left you ghosted or, maybe you don't have all of the answers you need for whatever happened in a situation. And Spirit is telling you that it's kind of irrelevant at this point. It's more so you want to focus on the shadow work, which is what is being stirred up in you, what's being triggered within you in regards to a situation or a situation that maybe you could have abandoned. We're going to get into it. Let's see. I'm not quite sure just yet what this is about, but we're going to find out what's happening for the rest of December for you. So what does Aquarius really need to... Oops, my cards. Hold on. What does Aquarius need to move on from or work on some shadow work in regards to? Aquarius. Rejection. Ooh-wee. It's getting spicy up in here. What does Aquarius need to... affair or third party. What does Aquarius need to move on from or not worry about? You have new love. Fire sign. Could be a Aries, Sagittarius, or a Leo. Tell me more for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to move on from or look at shadow work in regards to? Okay. So for some of you, could be with an air sign as well. Gemini, Libra, or another Aquarius. I see that there's like 2 scenarios playing out in my head. For the first one, some of you are experiencing some form of rejection from another person, something that involved multiple people, right? You have rejection and fear third party. So it could have been that somebody chose somebody else over you in some capacity, whether this was in a friendship, family, a work situation. Work is really standing out to me, and romantic. So it could be that you're facing this rejection here and you're still kind of caught up in the why, or it's like you're looking at it's like what did I do wrong, or what did I not do enough of? Why did I kind of get faced with this rejection here for this situation? For others of you, you have self-sabotage. So some of you actually, some of you, it's all about perception. Okay. There was a perceived rejection for some of you, right? You were feeling rejected, but it doesn't mean you actually were rejected. So it can go on two sides of either coin. Because sometimes when we feel like we're going to get abandoned, when we feel like we're about to get rejected, and this can stem from our trauma, our past, people rejecting us, we will reject ourselves before others can reject us. We will abandon the situation before other people can abandon us. So you have to really be careful here, Aquarius, and figure out which side of the spectrum are you on, right? Are you experiencing actual rejection from somebody, where somebody literally chose somebody over you? Or are you perceiving something as a rejection and therefore you're like, oh, well, this looks close enough, so let me kind of like reject the situation, let me abandon the situation. But in result, it is a form of self-sabotage, because not every time do we feel like we're going to get abandoned, or we are being abandoned, are we actually being abandoned, especially if you have like a history of trauma. There are certain things that can feel like abandonment, right? Like somebody not responding to your text for several hours. That can feel or be interpreted as, oh my gosh, I'm about to be left behind. And so therefore you might like cut them off, or it's like, granted, if somebody doesn't explain to you in a timely manner, or just like something looks like a little bit off and you feel like something is off, it doesn't always equate to the facts, because sometimes people, things happen, or people are going through things or whatever, or somebody's energy is off. So be careful of like misreading the energy in that way, where you're perceiving your feelings, your personal feelings about the situation as the facts of the situation. So make sure you're separating those two. But for others of you, it's more so like you really did get like some form of rejection, and some of you may be feeling angry about it, or upset, or wanting to do something. You have think before you act, to kind of prove yourself in a sense, whether it's like getting back at this person or something like that. So let's see what's the advice with this situation here. What is the advice for Aquarius? I also have another message in regards to career or business. What is the advice for Aquarius dealing with this energy of rejection or perceived rejection? What is Aquarius energy here? What is the advice for Aquarius with this energy? All right, you have not worth it. Okay, so first, what I was going to say about the small business stuff, you have fame and then you have small business. Some of you do tend to self-sabotage when it comes down to your business, or like you self-sabotage by not putting your work out there, or you don't let other people know what you can do. You hide yourself in some ways, and you hide from like that spotlight. Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo. Leo is known as the sign that is like in the spotlight. And if Aquarius is the opposite, that means sometimes Aquarius kind of shies away from that. But they still end up in the spotlight regardless, because you're talented, you're different. And so people are drawn to whatever stands out, whether that is in a, common way or an uncommon way. And Aquarius usually leans more uncommon. So, a lot of you have something that is different about you, something that is unique about you that you are meant to show to the world. But some of you are self-sabotaging by rejecting your own work, rejecting your own essence, and hiding from the world so people don't see you, right? Because it's like, in a sense, like either you're going to be rejected by others or you are going to reject yourself. It's like, choose one. We can either choose ourselves and like be like whatever to people who reject us, because it's not so personal all the time. People just project whatever they want, or you can choose to hide and never be rejected, but you'll also never have a chance to be accepted. Rejected, accepted. It's two sides of the same coin. It's just a matter of how you're perceiving it. So if you accept yourself, honestly, you can never be rejected by other people if you really think about it. Okay. So a lot of you need to practice more self-acceptance, more self-love, more self-compassion for your differences, what makes you unique, your flaws, your positive traits, your weaknesses, whatever it is. But you experiencing some type of either actual rejection or perceived rejection is a test or a lesson to not really get caught up in ego with that situation. Okay. Ignore my nail. It broke yesterday. But yeah, you have not worth it. So it's not worth it to kind of like pine over that. It's trying to show you some inner work that needs to be done through this situation. It's not so much about the rejection itself, if that's what you are experiencing or you're going to experience. It's more so about how you're perceiving it or what is stirring up in you that you need to work through. It could be some insecurities that it's really bringing up here within you. Okay. And so that's that on that. So let's look more into anything else heading your way with some of this stuff, either the rejection or the shadow work that's needed. Let's see. Let's see what is coming towards Aquarius at this time. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising. Yeah, but there's looking at rejection from a surface level aspect, it's kind of like, well, this is why I don't trust anybody. This is why I don't put myself out there. This is why that, right? And that is a very surface level way to look at it because, I mean, in a sense, like, yeah, if you say, like, everybody rejects you or whatever the case may be, there could also be some other issues with things like boundaries. There could be some issues with things like discernment in your life. I never believe that we need to like completely isolate ourselves from others because I don't feel like that's if you have relational wounds, the only way to like fully heal those wounds is by putting yourself in healthy relationships to have some of those triggers come up and you can like heal them. There's some healing we need to do on our own. There's some healing we need to do with other people. And so therefore avoiding people altogether is not going to ever heal your wounds. You're going to eventually be triggered the moment you decide to reconnect with people again. And so therefore some of you are in this process of needing to learn discernment for like when are the times where you're actually being triggered from your past, from a past situation, or like there's actually real danger or a real person that's not worthy of your time, your energy. So I say for you, Aquarius, that it's really more so about discernment versus avoidance. Some of you have been in a period of like just avoiding people altogether. The moment you step back into like trying to connect, you're like, oh no, I can't do it because, you know, here, this is happening again. But there could be something where you need to like learn to speak up more or learn to be faster at identifying red flags. Because some of you might have just had issues with like putting your trust in the wrong people, or you've seen red flags, you ignore them, versus like people that actually have good communication skills or they confront issues with you, you know, that might be overwhelming. So discernment is key. Not avoidance, discernment. All right, so let's see what's coming towards Aquarius. What's coming towards Aquarius right now? What or who for December with this energy? What is coming towards, who's coming towards Aquarius? You have 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. Why is the 8 of Cups here for Aquarius? With who or what's coming towards Aquarius? 2 of Cups reversed. All right, I see. Could be a separation here. Clarify the 2 of Cups in reverse for Aquarius. For what's coming towards them. Okay, so it does look, I see like some of you guys not being on the same page as another person here. And like maybe you decided to walk away. But it looks like there's a big issue with stability. It could be an earth sign you're connecting with, Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. You have 10 of Pentacles reverse. You have Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And then you have King of Pentacles upright. So there does seem to be some differences here when it comes down to what stability looks like for you all, or could be some financial challenges in y'all's relationship together. But you have the Two of Cups. You have the Eight of Cups. So I definitely see you or somebody else choosing to walk away from this situation here. Whether it's like you're rejecting somebody or they are rejecting you. I see that being the main thing here. I may need to use one more deck to clarify some of these other cards. Let's see. What is this? We need a little bit more clarity on that Eight of Cups. I'm not fully understanding what that's trying to say to me. What is the Eight of Cups trying to say? Okay. And the Two of Cups in reverse. Got the King of Pentacles here again, but it's in reverse. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get the full scope of the picture coming out. I'm trying to understand. And then you got the Queen of Cups in reverse. I mean, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is the same thing with the other cards. They're just like, it's like just not seeing eye to eye here in some way, shape, or form with a relationship. Could be balance. Balance is the issue here. But I think either some of you are in this process of trying to see like, okay, is this worth fighting for or not? Am I, feeling off for this reason or not? Like, I think a lot of you just kind of need some type of clarification. You have the Page of Swords here. Some of you maybe need to ask more questions. Like, I think some of you just tend to shut down at times when you're unsure. Or like when there is perceived abandonment in your relationships, or you feel like somebody is like detaching from you, or, distancing themselves from you. Some of you may just kind of assume, okay, they don't want to be bothered with me anymore. They don't like me anymore. But for some of you, that's not the case. And like in relationships, of course, like if you have dealt with people in the past that have manipulated you, or they did like a hot and cold game with you to intentionally hurt you. Of course, anytime that somebody does that with you now, or it seems like they're doing that, you will get triggered and you'll be like, okay, I'm just going to shut down because I've seen this before. I don't like this. Right. But when you learn to heal and you learn to move into secure attachment, you learn that asking questions is the appropriate way to go, especially if you're dealing with people that are healthy for you or good connections, where there's open communication already. Then you can ask these questions, and you're always able to ask anything you're involved in. Be like, hey, I noticed you're being distant. I noticed that, something is off between us. Can you tell me like what's going on? And like, sometimes you'd be surprised to hear like what people are actually going through. Granted, of course, it'd be great if people just always told us like, hey, I'm going through this, so I'm distant. It's not about you personally though. But sometimes we just, as human, we don't always do that. So for some of you, again, like the whole lesson here for you is discernment in your relationships, and trying to understand like where some things are just you perceiving it one way. Facts do not equal feelings. Without having the facts, without asking the questions, you're just going off of the way things kind of look. Or, maybe you're still getting caught up on like the past situation of like what people have done to you, but not looking at where you were trying to invest in these people that weren't worth it in the first place. So let's see. What's the advice lastly for Aquarius here? Six of Pentacles in reverse. What's the advice for Aquarius right now? What's the advice for Aquarius? Yeah, again, I do see that a lot of you need to come out of hiding so the right people can find you. But a lot of you are just so still caught up on like, oh, I don't want to be rejected. But like in this world, to connect with people, you are going to get it rejected. I don't care who it is, because it's impossible for you to be authentic and everybody still like you. It just is. And I was telling that to Leo as well. So for human design, like if you're a projector, it's really important that you are able to be seen, because if you are not seen, then nobody can invite you. And your strategy is wait to be invited and to be recognized. So you need to make sure you're not hiding in any way, shape, or form. Make sure you're putting yourself out there so the right people can see you. In the past, you may have like really been desperate for attention from people that ignored you or pushed you away, or, you know, they don't want to see you, and then you got bitter. And then you started hiding. You're like, oh, I'm not going to put myself out there ever again because everybody rejects me. But be careful of that black or white thinking. And that's for all Aquarians. Like, fixed signs have really bad black or white thinking. Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, like we think in like extremes. Like everybody hates me. Everybody's amazing. Everything's good. Everything's bad. Like there's a gray area. Okay. So you have to find it though. A lot of you guys, generator Aquarians, focusing on people that truly excite you and are not just there out of convenience for you, is going to be most important. And so like, you know, if you're still excited by a relationship and you still want to fight for the relationship and it doesn't like frustrate you to pieces, then definitely fight for it, and definitely, you know, speak up about some things that you are concerned about. Like don't expect anybody to read your mind in any way, shape, or form, because that's not healthy. Okay. Relationships are not supposed to be gamey and gimmicky and mind ready like that. All right. And so, you know, if you're frustrated all the time, that could be a sign you need to let it go and, you know, stop pushing so hard if you've already spoken up. But if you haven't, make sure you do. Same for manifesting generator and manifester. You guys are supposed to be informing people about what it is that you like, don't like, you want, you don't want. Okay, so always like holding back in that way and just expecting other people to know exactly what you want and what you need. No, you have to learn to be more proactive as soon as you meet people, to speak up and be like, this is the type of like relationships I like. This is my love languages. This is like what I expect from my friends. This is what I expect from my partners. And make sure that you are living like that too. Not just saying this is what I want, but you don't give out what you expect to receive. So kind of like leading by example, you know, so that's kind of how your relationships will really improve a lot more. And then reflectors, a lot of you guys could be in a situation where you've hidden behind other people for a long time. Or it's kind of like you feel like you fade into the background of people's lives sometimes. And so therefore you also don't share your wisdom and your insights. Reflectors and projectors remind me of Aquarians in that way, because you're very progressive. You're very like futuristic and like thinking into the future. So some of you've held back your true feelings about a lot of things, or you don't put yourself in spaces where you feel comfortable enough to share with people. Or maybe you have people that, you know, they do want to hear what you have to say, but you hold back still. So it's looking at yourself and then looking at your environment. Like, are you intentionally trying to like put yourself out there in an environment that you know is not receptive, and then you kind of reject yourself in that way because you know they're not going to want to hear it. So it's not about you in that sense, like you're doing something wrong. It's like the environment you're in, the people you're around don't see you fully, so they're not going to hear you. So you need to find like the right place. Or are you holding back from people that do want to hear from you, but you're afraid because you reject yourself? So again, Aquarius, for all of you, it depends on what side of the spectrum you fall on, whether you tend to reject yourself more than anybody else can reject you, or you're choosing the wrong people and therefore it does seem like everybody rejects you, but it's more so you're not using your discernment to figure out who to show up for. So really do that reflective work and figure out which one it is. So thank you, Aquarius, for watching. If this video resonated for you, please let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so the channel can thrive, and subscribe to the Patreon. I am at Tarot by Bronx. on everything.